I just kind of cast it as, oh, he's losing his marbles. Had I known, I think I would have handled it better.
In a shocking twist no one saw coming, Marvel has reportedly dropped Ryan Reynolds from the highly anticipated Deadpool sequel, sending shockwaves through Hollywood. But the real bombshell? Insiders claim the decision wasn't about Ryan at all, but rather the swirling controversy surrounding his wife, Blake Lively. This unfolding drama has eerie echoes of the Amber Heard saga, where public opinion and messy legal battles turned a rising star's career upside down. Now, Blake finds herself at the center of a scandal, one that some say dragged Ryan into the firestorm until Marvel finally cut ties. The million-dollar question: how did a top-tier actor lose his signature role in the blink of an eye? It all traces back to Blake's explosive allegations, which were supposedly discredited after leaked text messages surfaced, along with the mysterious exit of her own attorney. At first, no one believed her drama could possibly affect Ryan's standing at Marvel. But then, whispers started. Not from the Deadpool set, but from a high-profile new film Blake had just signed on to, led by a director known for heart-wrenching storytelling. And what happened next? That's where things really took a turn. At first, Blake seemed like the perfect fit, an actress with a devoted fanbase and a glowing on-screen presence. But for those paying attention, the parallels to Amber Heard's early career were impossible to ignore. Just like Heard, Blake was once celebrated for her talent, until off-screen controversies and legal troubles took center stage. Initially, she came across as the ultimate professional, stepping into a role that seemed tailor-made for her. But behind the scenes, tensions were boiling over. Whispers of heated clashes between Blake and the film's director started to spread. The director, who also co-wrote the script, held significant creative control, and insiders claim Blake wasn't having it. She allegedly pushed back on script changes, resisted certain press obligations, and even suggested the entire production was turning against her. At first, fans were on her side, believing she was raising valid concerns about how female leads are treated in Hollywood. But then, everything flipped when leaked text messages surfaced. These messages, supposedly from Blake herself, pointed fingers directly at the director, accusing him of manipulating the media to paint her in a bad light. And once those messages hit the internet, the fallout was impossible to contain. This instantly reminded many of Amber Heard's claims that her public image had been twisted by misleading narratives. But while Blake initially earned sympathy, that goodwill vanished fast when a second wave of leaked messages hit the internet. This time, the messages allegedly showed Blake boasting about powerful allies, nicknamed her dragons, who could influence production edits, media angles, and even social media coverage. That's when Marvel fans started asking the real question: could Ryan get dragged down by association? His influence in Hollywood is undeniable, and if the texts were legit, it meant Blake wasn't afraid to pull every string available to control how she was perceived. Sound familiar? It was a chilling echo of Amber Heard's downfall, a once sympathetic figure whose story crumbled when more evidence surfaced. By this point, a dangerous question was circulating. Could this mess actually hurt Ryan? After all, he was gearing up for his grand return to the red suit in Deadpool, a billion-dollar franchise Marvel couldn't afford to taint with controversy. Insiders whispered that the studio was closely monitoring public perception, knowing that even the slightest whiff of drama could make them rethink their casting choices. Ryan, for his part, kept things neutral, supporting Blake in public but steering clear of specifics. Yet keen-eyed fans noticed the shift. He dialed back his usual excitement for Blake's film, skipping key promotional events. Then came the real bombshell: rumors that Marvel was getting nervous. Executives feared that if more dirt surfaced, it could taint Deadpool's signature humor with real-world scandal. And that was a risk they weren't willing to take. In the age of social media wildfire, where scandals spread in seconds, the last thing a billion-dollar franchise wants is its leading star caught in a PR catastrophe. As the drama surrounding Blake exploded, the Amber Heard comparisons only intensified. Just like Heard, Blake initially had strong public support, until damning new evidence turned the tide against her. The breaking point? A second set of leaked messages that completely contradicted Blake's original claims about the director. She had insisted he entered her trailer uninvited, but the new logs told a different story. They revealed a casual, lighthearted invitation from Blake herself, shattering the narrative she had originally pushed. Fans felt that whiplash effect, that dizzying feeling when every new revelation flips the story on its head. Then came the legal earthquake that changed everything. Blake's own attorney, a powerhouse known for defending A-list celebrities, suddenly withdrew from her case. But this wasn't some quiet exit. The lawyer issued a statement casting doubt on Blake's claims, shaking even her most loyal supporters. It was an unsettling déjà vu moment, eerily similar to when Amber Heard's own team began jumping ship, signaling serious trouble ahead. In Hollywood, an attorney walking away speaks volumes. These legal heavyweights usually stand by their clients, using every trick in the book to protect reputations. But to publicly step back and imply distrust in the process? That's not just a legal move, it's a full-blown crisis. In an instant, the spotlight shifted to Ryan Reynolds, not as Deadpool, but as a man suddenly trapped in a professional and moral minefield. He had long been seen as an irreplaceable force in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with his razor-sharp wit and deep connection to the Deadpool brand helping to push the franchise forward. But now, the growing controversy surrounding Blake was threatening to overshadow everything. Marvel, a studio famous for playing it safe, was reportedly on edge. If public sentiment kept turning against Blake, would keeping Ryan in the lead role become a risk they couldn't afford? Fans weren't just talking about Blake anymore, they were scrutinizing Ryan too. In online forums, questions swirled. Did he know more than he let on? Was he involved in shaping Blake's narrative? Some even pointed to leaked messages that hinted Ryan may have had knowledge of certain behind-the-scenes events that contradicted Blake's public statements. Before the dust could settle, Marvel made its move. Ryan Reynolds was officially out. His departure was wrapped in carefully crafted language about creative differences and unexpected circumstances, but behind closed doors, no one doubted the real reason. The controversy surrounding Blake had tainted his once unshakable position, triggering a chain reaction eerily similar to what happened with those connected to Amber Heard. The fallout was instantaneous. Fans were furious, many calling the decision unfair and premature, but others believed Marvel had no choice but to protect its billion-dollar franchise from the fallout of a scandal spiraling out of control. As soon as Ryan's shocking dismissal hit the news, the next wave of questions exploded. Had he been actively involved in Blake's behind-the-scenes manipulations, or was he just collateral damage, blindsided by his wife's questionable decisions? The leaks didn't stop. In fact, they intensified. A fresh batch of group messages, allegedly involving Blake, Ryan, and several industry insiders, revealed something fascinating. While Ryan tried to stay diplomatic, he also expressed concern about how to handle the public fallout if contradictory stories got out. Some saw this as Ryan distancing himself from the mess. Others took it as proof that he knew the situation was spiraling and was already planning damage control. For fans, the heartbreak was instant and overwhelming. As frustration boiled over, many fans turned on Blake, accusing her of dragging Ryan down with her. It was a chilling reminder of the Amber Heard scandal, where certain associates saw their own reputations and careers crumble just for being tied to the wrong narrative. Meanwhile, the director at the center of it all refused to stay silent. Instead of letting selective leaks shape the story, he fought back. With cold, hard receipts, he released full transcripts and notes, inviting third-party verification to set the record straight. Even those who had initially believed Blake's version of events started to question everything. The more details emerged, the more the tide of public opinion shifted, and Blake's credibility took another devastating hit. Just like those who challenged Amber Heard, the director chose to let evidence do the talking. He didn't resort to personal attacks. Instead, he quietly released detailed documentation that directly contradicted Blake's claims. One of the most hotly debated incidents revolved around postpartum well-being. Blake alleged that certain remarks on set made her feel uncomfortable and disrespected. But the director, backed by production staff and detailed logs, painted a very different picture. According to their records, he had actually been checking in on her well-being, offering extra breaks during physically demanding scenes. This stark contrast in perspectives only deepened the uncertainty, much like how full transcripts in Amber Heard's case sometimes clashed with earlier statements, leaving the public questioning everything. Then, another bombshell. A senior producer had privately shown Blake a sensitive video, claiming he had informed her about its content beforehand. But Blake's public statement painted a completely different picture. She said she was blindsided and horrified. Once again, two versions of the same event, and no clear way to determine the truth. At this point, it wasn't just about Blake or the movie anymore. Marvel fans were paying attention. With Deadpool 3 on the horizon, many wondered, could this spiraling scandal put Ryan Reynolds' involvement at risk? Marvel is known for its tight grip on its image, and anything that threatens public goodwill is dealt with swiftly. Sure enough, in a move that stunned Hollywood, Marvel cut ties with Ryan. Just weeks earlier, such a decision would have seemed unthinkable. But now, It was just another twist in a scandal that no one saw coming. Of all the twists and turns in this unfolding scandal, Blake's attorney walking away proved to be the most devastating blow. In Hollywood, when a lawyer drops a high-profile client, especially over credibility concerns, it usually means serious trouble. Insiders say it's the kind of internal chaos that's nearly impossible to recover from. Fans who had defended Blake without hesitation suddenly had to face a harsh reality. Even her own legal team seemingly saw issues with her story. It was a tipping point, eerily similar to what happened in the Amber Heard saga, when a string of contradictions and incomplete evidence turned public opinion upside down. In Blake's case, the exit came with a pointed statement, one that hinted her claims didn't align with verifiable facts. And from that moment on, the controversy didn't just damage Blake's career, it dragged Ryan into the fire. For Hollywood watchers, it was a case of déjà vu. A familiar pattern was playing out, an A-list star presenting a compelling narrative, only for it to be picked apart piece by piece until it collapsed under scrutiny. Then came the next predictable stage: fan confusion. People who had rallied behind Blake suddenly hesitated. Was she telling the truth, or would more leaks expose even bigger contradictions? And then, the bigger question emerged. How much did Ryan know? Was he just an innocent bystander, or had he been aware of details that contradicted Blake's public version of events? The deeper this scandal went, the messier it became. Marvel executives, not willing to gamble with their multi-billion-dollar brand, made a swift and brutal decision. Ryan Reynolds was out. Whether he and Blake can bounce back from this remains a huge question mark. Hollywood has seen its fair share of comebacks, but rebuilding trust takes time, and the road ahead won't be easy. If this saga mirrors past scandals, like Amber Heard's public downfall, the path to redemption will be long, messy, and full of skepticism. The biggest threat? More damaging leaks. If additional messages, unseen footage, or insider accounts keep surfacing, this controversy could drag on indefinitely, overpowering any PR spin Marvel or those involved try to craft. For now, Ryan's reign as the wisecracking, fourth-wall-breaking anti-hero is officially over, and the headlines have one common thread: Blake Lively's disputed claims. The parallels to Amber Heard's saga are impossible to ignore. Whether people see Blake as a misunderstood victim or someone who manipulated the narrative, the fallout is undeniable. And once again, Hollywood is learning the hard way that one scandal, especially in the era of instant viral backlash, can bring down even the biggest stars. Now, those caught in the storm face an uncertain future, left to pick up the pieces and figure out how to move forward from a controversy that reshaped their careers in an instant. And make sure to subscribe for more on the latest celebrity news and all the behind-the-scenes drama. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.